No. This is Richard's private. This is Richard's video log. And, now, now is the winter of our discontent made glorious summer by the son of York. And all the clouds that lowered upon a house, and the deep bosom of the ocean buried, our brows bound with Victoria's wreaths, our bruised arms hang up for monuments, our stern alarms changed to merry meetings, our dreadful marches to delightful measures. Grim-visaged war as smooth as wrinkled front. And now, instead of mounting barbed steeds to fright the souls of fearful adversaries, he capers nimbly in a lady's chamber to the lascivious pleasing of a lute. But I, that am not shaped for sportive tricks, nor made to court an amorous looking glass, I that am rudely stamped and want love's majesty disturbed before a wanton ambling nymph, I that am curtailed of this fair proportion, cheated of feature by dissembling nature, deformed, unfinished, sent before my time into this breathing world, scarce, half made up, and that so lamely and unfashionable that dogs bark at me as I hold by them. Now I, in this weak piping time of peace, have no delight to pass away the time, unless to see my shadow in the sun and descant on mine own deformity. And therefore, since I cannot prove a lover to entertain these fair well-spoken days, I am determined to prove a villain and hate the idle pleasures of these days. Plots have I laid, inductions dangerous, by drunken prophecies, libels, and dreams, to set my brother Clarence and the king in deadly hate, the one against the other. And if King Edward be as true and just as I am subtle, false, and treacherous, this day Clarence should closely be moved up about a prophecy which says that G of Edward's heirs the murderer shall be. Yes. All right. Dark thoughts down to my soul. Here Clarence comes. He cannot live, I hope, and must not die till George be packed with postals up to heaven. I'll in to urge his hatred more to Clarence, will lie as well stilled with weighty arguments, and if I fail not in my deep intent, Clarence had not another day to live, which done, God take King Edward to his mercy and leave the world for me to bustle in. But then, I'll marry Warwick's youngest daughter. Although I killed her husband and her father, the readiest way to make the wench amends is to become her husband and her father, the which will I, not all so much for love, as for another secret close intent, by marrying her, which I must return to. But yet, I run before my horse to market. Clarence still breathes, Edward still lives and reigns. When they're gone, then must I count my gains. Was ever woman in this humor wood? Was ever woman in this humor one? I will have her, but I'll not keep her long. Would I, that killed her husband and his father, to take her in a heart's extremest hate, with curses in her mouth, tears in her eyes, the bleeding witness of her hatred by, having God her conscience and all these bars against me, and not deny to back my suit with all but the plain devil and dissembling looks, and yet to win her, all the world to nothing. Ha! Has she forgot already that brave prince, Edward, her lord, whom I some 3 months since stabbed in my angry mood at Tewkesbury? A sweeter and lovelier gentleman, framed in the prodigality of nature, young, willing, wise, and no doubt right royal, the specious world cannot again afford. And will she yet abase her eyes on me, that cropped the golden prime of this sweet prince, and made a widow to a woeful bed? Me, whose all not equals Edward's moiety, me that hold and misshapen thus, I took them to a beggar laden near. I do mistake my person all this while. Upon my life, she finds, although I cannot, myself, to be a marvelous, proper man. I'll be a charges for a looking glass, and entertain a score or two of tailors to study fashions to adorn my body. Since I am crept in favor with myself, I will maintain it with some little cost. But first I'll turn young fellow in his grave, and then return lamenting to my love. Shine out, fair sun, till I have poured a glass, that I may see my shadow as I pass.